As I choose these powerful, pure thoughts, I envision how this will influence my day. I take these powerful, pure thoughts, applying them to the actions of my daily life. Powerful, positive, pure light energy to fill my day, to fill my thoughts, to influence my behavior, my connections, my relationships. The relationship with I, the being of light, to the body. The relationship of I, the being of light, to other souls, also loving, pure points of light. Powerful, pure, peaceful, loving. I bring this into the conscious awareness as I bring myself back to the room, aware that the body is settled, calm, peaceful. I continue to empower it with positive, pure vibrations. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Good morning. Ready for another day of learning? Yes. Okay. Today we are going to be exploring more experiential methods for qualities of the soul, mind, intellect, sanskaras, vices, and God in three worlds. So it's really all that matters, isn't it? All in one day. So buckle up. It's important, I feel, and educationally, it's important for some learners more than others to give them the big picture before you just jump in. For some, it gives them the sense of comfort. Okay, I know what we're going to cover. I can also track along, you know. So as an instrument, a facilitator, very important for yourself as well to be clear what's the essence of this session. Here it is. And then to share that with the learners each class. Also, when we begin second night, third night, fourth night of the course, we always do a check-in. Because you're opening the session, but you're also opening the community again. The community space, the group atmosphere. And when we're online and there's 12 people, we hear from each, as I said yesterday, very focused question. Here for us, we're doing the same thing on day 2. We're coming back into our little bubble, our little container, safe learning container together. So it'll be nice to hear from each, but it would take forever if we asked everyone to speak, right? So we find efficient methods to have each one's voice, metaphorically speaking, in the room. Efficient methods to hear from each. So here's this morning's efficient method that I just thought of. I hope it works. It's always an experiment. I'm going to ask you to reflect on yesterday, and entering today, ready for day 2, show us with your hands. Show us with your hands. Yesterday, which part of the soul did it feed most? This would be intellect. This would be heart. This would be practical tools. Okay, so just take them, and it might be all 3, in which case you'll be doing this, which is okay. Or it might be this, or who knows. And I want you to sort of hold it and repeat it enough. It's better if you kind of pick one, but if, I don't know how you do all 3. Should we do a symbol for all 3? Maybe this. For all 3, meaning Trimurti, or like, yeah, there, look at that. That was good. Thank you. Okay. So, but it could be that for some of you, you came looking for tools, and you got tools yesterday. It could be that for some of you, really the heart needed just a real feed, and you got that yesterday from Baba through the session. And it could be that the intellect just really starts to feel quite awake again to Gyan and new methods of churning. So everyone take a moment and think, and it could be all 3, which is fine. There's no better or worse. It's just checking in with each other. So if you can hold whichever one, then everyone else can look around the group and see what it was like for others yesterday. This is part of belonging, seeing how my experience fits with other people's experiences, right? Oh, there's some similarities there, and gives you a chance at break to say, oh, I'm going to talk to so-and-so. What happened for you? Just opens the community. So, everyone ready? Tell us which it was for you. Was it heart? Was it intellect? Was it hands? Or all 3? Go. Okay, look around the room. Hold it. Hold your pose so everyone else can see. Look around. We have a lot of 3s, all 3. We have a lot of intellect. Let's see how much heart. We've got lots of intellects. We've got some hearts. We've got lots of practical tools as well. And we've got 3, and we've got hearts. Okay, can you see everyone around the room? Yeah. Just keep it going for another minute so everyone can look around and see for others. Okay. Very nice. Thank you. Okay. An efficient check-in, but it's a community builder. It's a belonging experience. Yeah? Okay. So we're going to begin with the qualities of the soul. And we're going to start with a visualization exercise. So you need a piece of paper. It can be in your notebook. I am only using this so it's big, like a flip chart. You need a blank, clean piece of paper in your notebook. And I'm going to ask you to draw a line across the middle so you have a top and a bottom of your page. Okay? We're going to use a visualization exercise experience to experience the qualities of the soul. And we do this to start this particular session. And I'm going to invite you, this is a visualization, I'm going to invite you to think of something that you love in nature. So, because it's pretty common for all of us, all souls everywhere, at all times, that they love nature. So it's an easy tool to use. Not all of nature, pick one thing. Okay, so I'm going to pick a waterfall, and I'm going to ask you to draw it. It doesn't have to be a good drawing, it just has to be visual. So there's my waterfall. Okay, so you can do stick figures, but pick one thing you love in nature and draw it on the top of your page. Okay? Okay. And fill the top of your page if you can, big and bold. All right. Everyone have? Okay. Okay, so hold up your pictures. Look around at each other, see what you've got. See what you've got. We've got flowers. Who's got flowers? Put up your hand. Ah, yeah, flowers. Who's got water of some kind? Ocean. Ocean, lovely, lots of oceans. Trees, anybody have trees? Trees, lots of trees. Anyone have birds or animals? Uh-huh, okay. Anyone have mountains? Ah, lots of mountains, okay. Anyone have sun? Sun, you have to pick one of those, brother. It has to be sun or ocean. Which is it going to be? Okay. Anything else we haven't called yet? Moon and stars. Anyone else? Clouds. You love clouds. Wow. Okay. You must not get many. Where I live, it's always a cloud. Blue sky. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. Butterfly. Beautiful. And flower. Flowers. Okay. Grass. Grass. Look at that. You drew individual pieces of grass. Wow. Okay. Well done. You can take this visualization seriously. Beautiful. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to ask you to write 3 words next to your picture that describe what you love about that thing, why you love it. So these will be non-physical words. This is how I would speak to introductory students. To you, I can say qualities. But to them, I have to say non-physical words. So you can't say it's tall or it's big, right? So words that describe how it makes you feel inside is what I will say to introductory students. But for you, I can say qualities, okay? Okay, so write 3 qualities you experience when you see this thing in nature. Okay. Everyone have? So now I'm going to ask, so mine are sparkling, I find waterfalls, sparkling, vibrant, and refreshing. Yeah? Okay. So, and those are my non-physical words, right? So can you just share your 3 words with the person next to you and make sure they're all non-physical?
I just uplifting and warm, but in warm.
Yeah. One more? Oh, lovely. Lifting.
Before God, it was my comfort.
Really? Sun.
Yeah, I lie in it.
Do you think you were, like we were probably all sun worshippers at some point, eh?
Yeah.
Like in the pagan sense.
I don't know, but I just think it was one of the nearest. It was up above.
It was close.
Yeah.
It was close to God.
Yeah. Because I like nature, but I was much more.
Yeah, focused up.
Sun.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
And this is probably what you feel with Baba.
Yeah.
All those things.
Yeah,
Isn't that
absolutely.
lovely, Margaret?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
beautiful. That we just confirmed your bhakti for next cycle.
Yeah. I see it's a sunny day. It just, it's kind of close to uplifting, but it's easier.
Nice. Okay, now I might have to take this off. We know what we're doing. I shouldn't have taken that off, but anyway, there we go. I need to do this. Okay. Okay. All non-physical? Yes? Okay, let's hear for ocean. What were some of the qualities? Unlimited? Deep?
nurturing, detached, flowing, calm, harmony, refreshing. Very nice. Okay, trees? Wait a sec, growing? Giving, loving, abundant, stable, solid, unshakable. Okay. Flowers, fragrant. That's fresh. It's a little physical, but that's what I was thinking too. But we get it. We get it. It's a quality spiritually, isn't it? Yeah, we get it. Okay, anyone else? Sun. Bright, warm, uplifting, life. So that's a noun. We need an adjective. So like living, but that's also kind of, no. Find something nicer, okay? Okay. Generous. Raise. Radiant. Radiant. Okay, great. Okay, anyone else? Other, Irene? Okay, you're going to change the last one. Needs to be an adjective. I know, that's a statement of fact, but we need a quality. Sparkling, very nice. Okay, we'll go with that. Limitless, great, fantastic. Okay, now what I'm going to ask you to do with these 3 words that you have created. I didn't ask for mountain. Can we hear from mountain, please? Powerful. Anyone else? Forgiving. Elevating. Oh, that's good. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to ask you to write these words on your page. We're going to write one full sentence, a phrase that starts like this. Like a or like the. In my case, waterfall. Like a waterfall. In your case, mountain, tree, ocean, etc. So write this down. Like a or like the sun. And the bottom, this is what the bottom half of your page is for. Yeah. Thank you, Margaret. Like a waterfall. Yeah. So on the bottom of your page, you write your phrase, like a. Okay? I am. And then put your 3 words in that sentence to end it. And make the grammar work. Yes, the same 3 that are up above, put them in the sentence. So for me, it will be I am sparkling, vibrant, and refreshing. So make the grammar work, okay? Yeah, that's why tall doesn't work, and that's why you got one. Yeah. Heavy, yeah, you do. What's that one?
This is moving.
Moving. That's physical. No, give us another one. I am I am flexible. I am. Is it that or is it accommodating? What is it?
Yeah.
Pick your right word for. Okay. Yeah, very good. Okay. Do you like your sentence? Yes. You love it. Why do you love your sentence? Because? because it's true, right? Yeah. It's a reflection of you. Okay. So, introductory students do not understand that what we see outside and love, it's the reason we love it is because it awakens the qualities in me. They don't understand that. So, here's when I tell them that. The reason you love it is because that thing outside of you love so much is actually just you experiencing those qualities in you. It's a catalyst, right? They don't know that. You didn't. Well, there you go. I'm glad I told you. Yeah, that's why we love these sentences, okay? So, can you memorize your sentence? Because I'm going to ask you to put your paper down now. So memorize your sentence. Like a sparkling, vibrant, and refreshing. And then put your paper down. And we're going to do a visualization exercise. So this is a meditation using visualization, okay? So we might speed up the getting ready part, because you know how to do that as Brahmins. With introductory students, we would definitely take 3 deep breaths. So do a couple for yourself. I would have them really connect with their body, feel the contour of the body in the chair, just to bring them back into the here and now. And I would have them relax their feet and tighten muscles in their legs and release, and pull in their tummy and release, and trace their spine up to the neck and make their neck tall and dignified but relaxed. I would have them tighten their fists and lift their shoulders and release. I'd have them really just relax their bodies. So just get there quickly yourself. Relax your body. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes so you can visualize on the screen of your mind. And just before we visualize, I'm going to ask you to see if you can hear your own heart beat. Now visualize an invisible thread of energy from your heart to the center of your forehead, behind the eyes. And we'll imagine the room in your head where you're hearing my voice now come through the speakers. You're sitting comfortably and peacefully in that room in your head. And in front of you, where the back of the eyelids are, is a big screen. And on this screen, I will ask you to visualize that beautiful thing of nature you have just drawn. But see it in all of its beauty. See the color, and the shape, and the texture. Feel whatever the sensation is from that. Perhaps there's a texture, maybe a sound. So bring that thing you love in nature onto the screen of your mind in all of its beauty. And now I'm going to ask you to remember your sentence and to say it to yourself silently and very slowly, like I am. So do that now, please. Say your sentence to yourself. Take a deep breath in. And now say it one more time, a little more slowly, and see if you can just really experience these qualities. Like I am. Say it again to yourself. Another deep breath in. And now one final time, say your full sentence very slowly and just become it and sit with the feeling for a minute. Like I am, one final time. Now just check inside and name the energy you are experiencing in this moment. What is it? What are you experiencing right now in your mind? And think of 2 or 3 words to describe it for yourself. And take a deep breath in. Release. And as you open your eyes very slowly, I'd like you first to see the floor in front of you. And I'd like you to see your own body, your knees, your hands. And then as you lift your eyelids further, look at the wall across the room from you. High on the wall, across from where you're sitting. And as your eyes are open and looking at the wall outside, I'd like you to be aware of the room in your head and the energy you have just created there. Move your eyes slowly around the tops of this room. And you're aware that there's a room outside with yellow walls and stones and pictures. And at the same time, inside the room in your head, there's a quality of energy you have just generated. And then I'll invite you back into the gathering. Om Shanti. So, how was that experience? Words to describe what it felt like inside. Give us some words. Bliss, peaceful, double light, like yourself, serene, silent, loving, powerful, original, detached, connected, change. Ah, nice. Royal, flowing. Okay, all right. So I have done this exercise all over the world in so many different cultures and languages with so many professional groups, top level executives. It works every single time to get them into soul consciousness. And then I name it. That's you. That's what we feel like underneath all the noise and the static and the conditioned habits and patterns of personality. That's what we're aiming for in meditation, and then I name it soul consciousness, or soul, or the being, depends on what group I'm with, what they're comfortable with. But I have asked myself, why does this work every time? Why do you think this works every time? Because it worked for us too, it works for me every time. In fact, somebody in Australia asked if they could make a YouTube video so they could keep listening to it. And he basically was given the homework assignment because he loved it so much. He was just somebody from the public. He said, would you please make a video so I can do this every day? And I gave him the assignment, every day pick something different from nature and make it your meditation for a week. Right? We need to change it after that. But for a week it was useful for him. So it's on YouTube, Nature Visualization, Dewey Johnson, if you ever want to remember how to do it again. But why does this work every single time? I ask myself. Any thoughts? So absorbing the vibrations of that thing in nature then gives it back to us and we experience it. We give to nature, but then we absorb and then we, yep. Uh-huh. Something about visualizing. Yeah. Yeah. Well, nature's not pure now, but natural in truth. Re-emerging a memory. Honestly, my feeling is the reason this works every time, maybe all of those reasons, yes. I feel like it's because by saying, like a waterfall, it's like a yukti that flies under the radar of ego. And it gets me in the door, I am. If I just said to myself, I am vibrant, sparkling, and whatever, I would probably say, no, you're not. Yesterday, you were not. You know, I just don't think if I went straight on to I am this, that it would work. I actually feel like the reason it works is because I said this first. And we invested some energy in the drawing, the thinking about. That's my current theory, anyways, why it works. Yeah. Yeah. It takes. You should. You should. Yeah, you should. But most people can't. And that's why we do this exercise at the start of qualities of the soul. We do this first, and then
immovable, courageous, determined, capable, responsible, ruler and master, mighty soul.
I am a powerful soul. I am a soul, a being of light. I am a pure soul.
I'm transparent, clean, clear. I'm honest, truthful. I'm true to myself. I'm unlimited, simple, innocent. I'm light, holy, unadulterated. I am authentic, divine, original, and serene.
I am a pure soul. Om Shanti. Wow. Wasn't that beautiful? That was amazing. So, you might want to think, any surprises, any discoveries there? There might be new words you hadn't thought of before, which are helpful for you in your own meditation. So just take note of those. I won't ask for responses right now. But just take note, any surprises for you. And any that, sorry? Tiny question. Loyalty, where would loyalty fit? Purity and love. It would be a blend of purity and love, wouldn't it? What about truth, purity, and power? Yeah, knowledge, purity, and power. Okay. It's nice to play with. Where do all these things fit? We use the self-mastery cards, and you know the self-mastery cards? And we give them to the whole group, and we say, divide them up into the 5. And we put the 5 on the floor, and they have to take the whole deck of self-mastery cards and decide which virtues go where. Wonderful exercise for a little day retreat. We do that on the day retreat. Yeah, sometimes we do that for the intro course. Where does a knowledgeful soul? So we've had this conversation, is it 7, knowledgeful, happy, blissful, or is it 5? We use 5. We use 5. We use blip because it's easy to remember. Blip. Bliss, love, peace, power, purity. All the students can remember blip. So blip, bliss, love, peace, power, purity. So knowledgeful soul, power, probably power, also probably purity. Did anyone say humility on their list? Would that be love? Would that be purity? Would that be peace? Could be all 3? Very nice. Good question, Denise. Okay. So we can go deeper into this, but we're also aware that this is like a demonstration. So the good news is you're engaged enough, you want to go deeper, right? And that's what happens with the introductory students. They all want to know, where does this go? Where would this be? Right? So this is wonderful. It's a sign of engagement. The intellects are awake, right? And open in your thinking. So this is how we teach the core qualities of the soul. We do this methodology. And everybody likes it very much because they're learning a lot. Sometimes we give them a flip chart and say, fill it in and show us. This morning I did it as a commentary because we have so many of us. It was a nice way to be efficient and also more interesting than give us a presentation, right? A little more interesting, and we're all paying attention. So how we end this particular lesson, remember this is the lesson on qualities of the soul. And if you remember in our order, this is already session number 3. They're coming back to us for the 3rd session in a row in our flow of the experiential course. Remember, they got thoughts 1 session completely, that's all it was. Then we did identity and soul, and then we go into, okay, what's inside the soul? Let's learn about that. What are you really made of? We do this. We can give them some content now. That's okay, you can say things to them, but I'm not going to do that because you know that. I'm going to end this session with our meditation. And the meditation to end this session is look at all 5. My new dance partner. Look at all 5 and pick which one you want more of. You want to experience more in your life. So these are intro students, but it applies to us as Brahmins too. So pick which one of those. For you, when you heard all those beautiful descriptions, which one do you want more right now? Okay, so just pick one for the purpose of our ending meditation. And this ends our session number 3. Okay, so everyone have one? You don't have to say it aloud, it's private, personal for now. Okay, everyone has one? Okay, we're going to do a meditation. May I have to think? Okay, here's the meditation. You want to put your papers down just for a minute. We're going to visualize, and we're going to experience, and we are going to think. So I'm just going to ask you 3 questions to bring this quality alive in you. And you will get the questions in the handout, so don't have to worry about it. And I'll repeat them afterwards if you want to write down. So just experience it for a minute. Then you'll know what the students will experience. It's always good to be the guinea pig and see what it feels like first, and then you're more confident to do it with others, okay? So if you can just close your eyes for a moment, take a deep breath in. Come into the awareness of self as soul, and I'm going to ask you 3 questions. So in that room in your head, visualize on the screen in front of you the word, the quality you have chosen, written almost like a big movie title on the screen of your mind. So it'll be power or bliss or love or peace or purity. See it there in your mind's eye. And now the first question, what does this quality mean to you? Get a working definition of this word for yourself, or 2 or 3 key words that really describe it for you. So what does this quality mean for you? Second question, back to the screen of your mind, I'd like you to just allow an image to pop up onto your mind in response to the question, what does this quality look like? So it could be a symbol or a metaphor, but a visual image. When I ask, what does this quality look like? What image pops onto the screen of your mind? And enjoy that for a moment. And the third and last question. Remember a time when you experienced this quality and replay it. Go into your memory track, and if it's yesterday or if it's 10 years ago, find a memory and replay this memory in your mind like a video. Where were you? Who were you with? What were you doing? And what did it feel like? So remember a time when you experienced this quality in your life. And feel it. Can you feel it? That quality is alive and awake in you right now. And we'll sit through traffic control with that quality. Om Shanti. So, your homework assignment as introductory students for the week is to meditate every day using those 3 questions so that you awaken that quality in you, the one you want more. How was that? I will. Did you enjoy that? Did you experience the quality you're looking for? Yes, so this is good for Brahmins, it's good for everyone. Yes, I will share the 3 questions, and it's on their handout for the students who come to class. And next week they will learn this, not this week, but I can tell you now so that you'll understand why those 3 questions. The first question is actually for the intellect, but we don't need to tell them that. It awakens the intellect, which is how Baba wants us to enter meditation, right? Awaken the intellect. What does it mean? So I gotta awaken the intellect and think about peace. What does that really mean to me? Okay, next question is for the mind. The mind works in pictures. It follows pictures. We have to create pictures in our mind. That's why visualization is so important. So the next question is, what does it look like? And the last one is, for the Sanskars, remember a time when you experienced it, a time or a situation when you experienced whatever that quality is, and replay like a video. So replay the memory. Where were you? Who were you with? What were you doing, etc., so that you can feel it. Okay? And that's going to awaken the sanskaras. It is meditation. Yes. Yeah, definitely. You could be in a wonderful meditation and bring that back into your memory, and instantly you feel it. Faith and freedom? Where would you put freedom? Which of the 5? Happiness, purity. Power too, okay. And faith, where would you put faith? Power? Okay. All right. So that ends our qualities of the soul session. How was that? Lovely way to teach the qualities. It's not teaching, right? It's facilitating it coming out from the student. So I'm not delivering a lot of content up here, right? So that's qualities of the soul. We are meant to do one more thing before break, but I'm looking at you and thinking you're needing a break now. Is that how you're feeling? We can do it. That's a lot of meditation in one little session, isn't it? Not 5 minutes at the end. Let's meditate before we go. It's like the whole session was a meditation, right? So we try to maximize the amount of time they spend meditatively at the center. Yeah? So I quite like this little design. I think it's pretty effective. Works every time. In the classroom in Halifax, we don't always, I said we don't always do the meditate, like we did it here, and I will do it again at the center, but that's it. So, and you have that in your notebooks, or you will have it on your flash drive, that description. The nature meditation isn't there, but it's on YouTube, so easy to find. Yeah. Donna, go ahead. Well, they're working on it right now. So you'll get it before the end of the weekend. No, not at all. So I say happy, and I use bliss, and I describe it's beyond the sense organs. It's not pleasure of the mouth. It's not, but they love happiness, so leave it there. It doesn't matter to me. Yeah. Okay, so you ready for the next one? Yes. Okay, let's do one more before you go to break. So back to your chairs, if you would like, back to your original seating spot. Back home. Okay.
Visualization comes under mind or intellect?
Which one?
Visualization, as you said, does it comes under mind or intellect?
Mind. But the intellect's guiding it, and it's intended to awaken certain sanskaras.
Because Baba always says about the divine intellect and the divine buddhi, and open up your intellect to see the visions.
It's deep. The divine intellect has about 40 qualities to it, so it's not a simple answer. But yes, we are using the divine intellect.
Nature meditation under your name?
Yeah, YouTube. Judy Johnson, Nature Visualization. Check it out, and when you get the link, send it around.
Also because...
Can I just finish the class first, and then come catch me at break time, okay? Okay. Okay.
Because they have something like, here it is, here's the book.
You're going to get that on the spot. I'll show you what they are. Okay. So how are you doing? Good? Time goes quite quickly when it's experiential, doesn't it? Yeah. I find the students always go, it's over already? Like, oh my God, it's 9 o'clock. They can't believe it. Okay. So the next one we're doing is mind, intellect, and sanskaras. How many of you teach this particular class, mind, intellect, sanskaras? Okay, a few, not many. And next to the cycle, sometimes this one can be the trickiest. Would you say? And or the most boring. For the students, not for you. Very interesting for you. But for the students, they're like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. That's been my experience. What do you think? Yes. So we thought we had to do serious surgery on the mind, intellect, sanskars, how we teach it. Because we were doing a lot of talking, and when we looked at the faces of the students, they did not look more clear. Their eyes were not sparkling with realization. So we thought, okay, we really better do something with this. So this is very simple, and you can add explanations if you like. I'm not going to give you all the explanations. I'm just going to do the activity. But we have 3 activities. One for mind, one for intellect, and one for sanskaras. And each of these activities is meant to give you an experience of that faculty of the soul. So we start by saying there's 3 faculties of the soul. We do that. And and they're called this, this, and this. And so now let's have an experience of each to help us better understand what these are and how they operate in the soul. Because who cares? Like when they come to the meditation course, they just want peace or happiness or concentration or to sleep better. They're not so terribly interested in the fine point. Is that mind or is that intellect? The way Brahmins love to talk, right? They're really not interested in that. So we have to figure out, why is this important for them? And that's always the last question I ask. Why is this important for you to know? And then they give me their answers. I don't tell them. Because I could go on forever, but that's not really important. What's important is they understand why this is important for them, and that we hear back from them. Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't thought about that. So we'll ask that question at the end. Why is this important for you? And think about intro students. Okay, so these are so simple. The first one we're going to do, I think we'll do mind first, okay? So I want you just to experience how your mind works, okay? So if you can you don't have to put any papers down, just sit there, close your eyes for a moment, and I'm going to invite you to see in your mind if you can remember what your bedroom looks like. And just notice with the size and shape of the bed, what you have next to your bed. There might be a little table, what's on it, what's in any drawer nearby to your bed. Is there a place for your clothing? Where is that? What does that look like? Visualize your bedroom as you left it to come here. Any colors, any special objects in that room? Any pictures on the wall? If so, what are they? Bring them into your mind. Okay, that's it. You can open your eyes now. So could you all see your bedrooms? Yes? Could you see the details? Yes? Okay. So that's the mind. It's the screen of consciousness. Full stop. In Buddhism and everywhere else, they say we have to control the mind. But actually, the mind is just the screen on which all the feelings and thoughts are played. So it's like my inner, in-home entertainment system. It's my mind. Hot Brahmin debates about this topic. So, but pretty much we either say it's something that has to be controlled, or we say it's something into which I must place only sacred thoughts, only so well and so much. Thank you. Okay, so screen of consciousness, the mind. Well, it used to be, in the New Beginnings book, Ken wrote that it's the field on which the intellect is the referee, and I think we've all got that version of it. So in the 25 years I've been a Brahmin, I've heard many different is it really the field? Is it that kind of chit-chat? For intro students, it doesn't matter. So we can talk about this more later, but really for me, relative to intellect and sanskars, it's helpful to think of mind as a screen on which. And it's a 360-degree screen. So I sit in the middle of that movie. Whatever I'm allowing to play on the screen of my mind, I'm sitting in the middle of it, and that describes the atmosphere inside of me, is what I put in the mind. Charlie's been talking recently about a sacred space of the mind and what you put in it. Make sure it's sacred. I really love that. So, yeah. Okay? Clear? On to sanskaras. So, a new page. Yep. Soul creates thoughts and it plays them on the screen of the mind. This is where the better understanding has to come. Yeah. Is the mind. Yeah, we say the mind creates thoughts. So we could say the soul creates thoughts through the mind and projects them on the screen of the mind. You can, yes, intellect has a big role. Yeah, so we're going there next. But let's just stay with mind, screen, for now. Okay? Next one, sanskars. Clean page in your book. Don't tear it out, just turn it over. I'd like you in the middle of the page to write the word. I can use this. No, I cannot. Okay. To write the word music. Yeah. So imagine this is your page. Write the word music in the middle of your page like you're going to do a mind map. In fact, you are going to do a mind map. I'm going to ask you, based on your experiences in life, to write all the first words that come into your mind that are associated with music for you. Okay, so the first words that come into mind when you hear music, and write them in each of these little bubbles like a mind map. Okay? It could be a type of music, it could be associated memories. Or 5 words that jump to mind when you hear the word music. Okay, don't think too hard. It's not an analysis of music, it's just what comes to mind. Now, if you can pass your book to the person next to you, and pass the book so that you see 5 or 6 different people's books. So just pass them along the row. Pass and look at someone else's book, or what they've written. Just quickly look at the words, no conversation, just look at the words and pass it on to the next person. Pass it on until you've seen 5 or 6 books come in front of you. Don't worry, you'll get yours back. Just pass them along. Yeah, all go this way, all go this way. This way, this way. All of them go this way, it'll be easier. Yep, there you go. There you go. Pass them around. Okay, just pass and see as many as you can. 5 or 6 books should come in front of you. Just see what you see there. Okay. All right. Did you pass? No. Did you see 6 different ones? No. You saw 5 different ones? Okay. Uh-huh. Ah. What's that?
Kick.
Ah, kick music. Kick music. Okay, very nice. You didn't pick any, like I picked Elton John, and you didn't, no specific. Okay, yours is gone. Okay, okay. All right, see if you can get your own book back now. Good luck. Phew, gone. Okay. Good luck getting your own book back. Okay, get your book back. Oh, look at that, taking pictures of their mind maps. Okay. All right, what did you notice about all the different books that came past your eyes? Some similarities? Differences? Yep. Yep, yep. Okay. Well, okay, in an intro group, trust me, what you're going to hear are things like Elton John, rock opera Tommy, orchestra, guitar, harp, and live. Huh? Dancing you definitely hear. Yeah. You might hear concert, you might hear part, but I ask people associated memories that come to mind with music. So everybody's been to different rock operas, or they had different musical loves, you know, Elton John for some and whatever. So in the intro group, what we see, and maybe it's different for Brahmins, but in the intro group, what we see is everybody has a completely different background with music. Some people love hard rock, some people like symphony, and when they pass the books around, what stands out is how different we all are. And I say, and why is that? Well, we all have different musical tastes, is it? But why do you all have different words associated? And this is because we've all had different experiences, right? And they're stored in the memory as associations. And that's how we explain sanskaras. We're all different because we've all had different experiences that get stored as memories, and they become associations we make with everything in our lives. Now here we do more content on sanskaras. We have to explain it a little bit more and all that. I'm not going to do that here. But this is just the aha moment so that they go, oh, right, sanskaras. Most people know this. It's not rocket science, but it's a key word for in Raj Yoga. They need to know what it means in the Raj Yoga context, right? And we spend a lot of time on sanskaras. But first they just need the basics, right? I am. I find it a very useful word. And they remember it when you say it's like a scar on the soul. Sanskara. No, but yeah, I got good scars. I got, I fell doing kind of have to play with that a little bit. Imprint is, of course, we give all this content. This is just to awaken interest. Oh, I get it. That's what a sanskar is. It's the traits that are in the person, and everyone's different because we've all lived differently. And then, of course, we explain, remember those 5 qualities last week? These are the original blueprint sanskaras. Everything else is added later. And it's different for each of us. Okay, so I'm not going to explain all that now because you know that. But this is how we enter. We're not going to have time to do intellect before break. So we will have to come back after break and do intellect, if that's okay. But first, so here we are, mind and sanskars is what we've done experientially first, then with content. So it's good to explain what they are, of course, but after you've done a little experience, just a little one, makes them interested. Helps them remember it, because they'll associate the image in their mind and the doing. Margaret talked about VAC, that was kinesthetic. It's also visual, right? So then they will remember it better. Okay. Comments or questions so far? We'll come back and do intellect after break, if that's okay. But that's been a big morning already. Can you remember what we've done this morning? What did we do? Visualization of nature first to get into qualities of soul, and then the 5 qualities experientially, and then the meditation with the 3 questions, and now we're into mind and sanskaras, and we're coming after break to do intellect because it's our main instrument. It's our main focus of Raj Yoga is intellect. So we spend more time on intellect than mind and sanskaras because intellect is the king. Or at least we want it to be. And it's fallen down on the job. So, we're resurrecting intellect. Yeah? Donna's been to millions of workshops. And this is brilliant, she says. So that's very sweet. Okay. Thank you, Baba. He's doing wonders, isn't he? Okay, let's have a moment of sweet, sweet remembrance and real gratitude to Baba for bringing us together to play like this with the jewels of knowledge, hey? Om Shanti. So enjoy break. We'll come back for intellect and then vices. Okay? Just for fun. I think it's a half hour. So you can write up your notes, walk around the block, drink tea. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Welcome back.
So let's come into silence for a moment and reconnect. Soul conscious and with Baba as we start this next session. Om Shanti. So this little candle flame has been flickering all morning, ever since we lit it, and we left it and went away and had tea, and then we came back and there it is, still waiting for us, always lit. It's like the soul, right? How soul conscious were we during our break time? But that little flame is always there, isn't it? We can come back at any time. It's beautiful. So we're moving on to intellect. You ready? Okay. And you do understand I'm not giving the whole course here, so we're not going into all the details of how you describe sanskaras, right? We're just doing the exercises, because that's what we're missing, is the experiential bits. But of course, it helps us refresh our understanding. What is mind? What is sanskara? So that's good. So now we're going to do intellect, and then we're going to move on to the vices. So I'm going to ask you to pass this around, and everybody please take one of these. And if you would, you will see on this sheet of paper word pairs. You'll see two words next to each other on this piece of paper. And I'm going to ask you just to take a couple of minutes with pen in hand and to circle of the two words which one feels like it's more powerful to you. Okay? So the example, the first two words are abundant and excessive. Which one feels more spiritually powerful? Okay, so you circle that one then, if that's the one. So just on your own, privately, first. Then you can talk to other people, but first do them all by yourself. Circle which one you think is more spiritually powerful, and then we'll compare notes, okay? Okay, so do it on your own, or you can talk to the person next to you if you'd like. But once you're done on your own, then share with the person next to you. Once you've done your own discerning. There's always one or two that are harder. Yeah. Tough one. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Karen Ben.
I might invite you to say a few words because what I discovered in this activity that not everyone is really clear. MJ shared with me that people come here and it's kind of like a they clarify things that they should know, but they could never really ask in their centers. They're not supposed to ask questions. Let's see. So we're comparing these words and circling the one we think is most spiritually powerful. Word pairs.
Okay, another minute, and then we'll wrap up.
Cold.
Okay, Om Shanti. Mostly done? Yes? Okay. Was that easy? Some were tricky? Some were tricky. Which were the trickiest? Stylish and trendy. And what other one? Striving, driven was tricky. Selective, exclusive was tricky. Selective, exclusive. Okay. Okay, so let's go through and see what you came up with. Okay. So first one, abundant, excessive. Which one is more spiritually powerful? Abundant. Why? Okay. So it's positive, it's full, it's giving, whereas excessive has the energy of what within it? Greed. Okay. Next one, artsy or aesthetic? Why? Artsy might be superficial. Aesthetic, artsy's creative. Artsy's physical, aesthetic's physical. Artsy is symmetrical. Okay, so how many said artsy was more powerful? How many said aesthetic was more powerful? Okay. All right. And why is aesthetic more powerful? It's what? Clean and clear. Aesthetic. Timeless. Articulate. It's more professional. Uh-huh. Right. So artsy could be a subset of aesthetic. Aesthetic is more general. It can include a variety of different styles, but it's aesthetic. Nice. Okay. Okay. Aesthetic. Next one. Opinionated or authoritative? Authoritative. And why? Because Baba uses that word. Very good. Why else? Commanding. Opinionated has within it what? Ego and a bit of stubbornness. Right? So authoritative is more about full of power. Yeah, without the vice. Okay? Next one. Fortunate or lucky? Fortunate. And why? Oh. Okay, but intro students don't know Baba. So what would intro students say? Why is fortunate? It's more general. Lucky? Fortune is what you create. Lucky feels happenstance. Right? So fortunate's more powerful. Very good. No, it's not. So we're introducing words to these new students also. Yes. Okay, beautiful or pretty? Beautiful. And why? Pretty is skin level, usually. Pretty is usually body. Beautiful can be deeper than that, right? Pretty is features, whereas beauty can include much more, right? Okay. Praising or flattering? Praising. And why? Flatter is fake. Flatter is could have selfish motives. Flattering can be seductive. Praising is more clean. Is it? Praise, to praise. Okay. So praising, yep. Selective or exclusive? How many picked selective? How many picked exclusive? Okay. So why is exclusive more powerful? Definitely. Selective is empowering, it implies choice. Exclusive means leaving out. So it's negatively, right? So selective in this case is more powerful spiritually, right? Okay, blunt or candid? Candid, why? Has a more yucked feeling to it than blunt, which can be a bit violent, right? Okay, frivolous or carefree? Carefree because Baba says it, okay. But why is carefree better, more powerful than frivolous? Yeah, frivolous has waste in it, says Margaret. And naive and maybe careless. Frivolous could be a bit careless, right? Okay, so carefree. Reckless or courageous? Yes, that's obvious. And why? Reckless is no wisdom in reckless, no discernment, no concern for others. Very nice. Courageous. Spontaneous or impulsive? All right, that one's pretty easy. Which friend would you rather be with out going home late at night? A spontaneous friend or an impulsive friend? Impulsive will get you in trouble every time, right? Yeah. So why spontaneous? Why is that more powerful? Because it's open. Okay, so it's kind of an instant, accurate, in line with drama. Impulsive is driven by the senses and by desire, typically. Right? Okay. Pure or good? Ah. But because Baba says that. But why is pure more powerful than good? Sorry, say again, Ina? No, everyone picks pure. Yeah. But why? Why do they pick pure, not good? Pure is higher, clean. Pure is more healing. Yeah, a pure product, people relate to the organic or the pure product nature. Good is moralistic. Good has a judgment in it. Pure is a fact. It's just a fact. It's either pure orange juice or it's not. Whereas good orange juice is subjective. Yeah, it's moralist. It's a judgment. Yeah. All right, striving driven. Striving, and why striving? You're putting effort into something. It's positively focused. You're striving for something. Driven is it's driven by samskara or compulsion. Right? Okay, determined or stubborn? Because Baba says it. Oh, stable or rigid? Stable because Baba says it. Okay. And stylish or trendy? Stylish. Why stylish? Lasts forever. So style is, what is that quote by Coco Chanel, I think it is? Trends change, but style is eternal. Like you can be stylish even though you're in a different trend. One day it's bell bottoms and the next it's, trends come and go. Stylish is it lasts, something in style. So there's the longevity of something makes it more. So when you think about all the reasons why we picked one of the words over the others, what were they? It's more pure, it's more clean, it lasts longer, it's deeper. What else? What were some of the other reasons why we picked? Feeling in it, the positive. Yep. Right. So did you notice that mostly we all selected the same words? Why is that? But even the intro students all picked the same words in every group. One or two outliers, but always they picked the same. And again, in many different cultures, I've done this exercise around the world, why do they always pick the same words? Connected to the original qualities? Check inside, how do you feel after this little exercise? Empowered. It resonates. So we pick all of the same words because the soul has the capacity to discern vibration. And what is the faculty of the soul that discerns? The intellect. Our intellect can discern the difference between two words that are pretty close, but they carry a vibration. Right? The soul, the intellect discerns between good, bad, all that. So this is where you can give content. But the experience, we've all had it now. We can all discern the highest vibration, which is good news. It means we will all be able to discern God. It's the intellect that discerns the vibration inside a word, in a situation, in someone's intention, and it's the intellect we use in meditation to tune in to that finest vibration. Passionate could have lust in it. It's also a cultural, depends on how the word is used in a culture, but yeah, passionate could be driven, but we didn't have that word intentionally. Yeah, it is. It is, especially in America. Yes, it is. Less so in Canada, trust me. Yeah, okay, but the purpose of this is to experience your intellect discerning subtle differences between things and to see how we can all discern that. We all have that capacity, right? And surprisingly, we all, more or less, pick the same words. So that's good news for humanity. Right? When Baba's children will be revealed, especially. But talking to intro students, this is the faculty of the soul, to discern. And that's what it feels like, trying to see the difference. And then we can talk about, we get intellectual, we think too much when we can't discern quickly. But so in Raj Yoga, we're refining the intellect, we're empowering the intellect to discern quickly, easily, accurately, so I don't waste time and energy being confused, being burdened, going down the wrong path, right? And using the intellect to connect to the divine. So I'm not going to give you a class on the intellect. I'm just demonstrating the exercise we use, which then enters into the description of intellect. Karen Ben, would you like to say anything about intellect at this point, or up to you? Yeah, we probably have about 5 or 6 minutes. 10 if you want.
So Judy's doing a very nice thing, is that she's tying everything back to meditation and how you use these things in meditation. And that's really important, because why are they learning all this stuff? They came to learn meditation. So it's really good if you make the point of how this can be used in meditation. But it's also good to tie things into what they've already had in the previous lessons. So a lot of the ways that I introduce intellect is I like to give the Hindi words. So for mind, I say it's mun, and I write it up there, and it's not man, it's mun, right? And I tell them, if you go on with this course, if you like it, you'll be introduced to a lot of Hindi words, so you might as well get a little comfortable with them now. And besides, you're getting a whole new language for free. And so I say mun for mind, and then Judy's already beautifully described that and had you experience it. But when it comes to the intellect, I like to go back to the to their homework on thoughts, because they were monitoring their thoughts and they were seeing which thoughts were positive and negative and waste and neutral. So the thoughts were going on in the mind, but what was looking at the mind and categorizing the thoughts was the intellect. And it's much more subtle than the mind. And when you decided to apply the formula,
शिव पिता को अब याद करो, मुक्ति धाम तुम्हें जाना है। अपने सुकर्मों के बल पर ही सतयुग में तुमको आना है। शिव पिता को अब याद करो। का स्वर्णिम युग है, शिव पिता फिर से आया है।
ब्रह्मांक से शिव बाबा ने वही गीता ज्ञान सुनाया है।
कलयुग का अंत अब आया है, विकराल विनाश खड़ा आगे। शिव पिता को अब याद करो। पांडव शिव शक्ति सेना की रणभेरी अब फिर बजती है।
शिव बाबा के ज्ञान से फिर माया को मार भगाना है।
शिव पिता को अब याद करो, सतयुग में तुमको आना है। शिव पिता को अब याद करो, मुक्ति धाम तुम्हें जाना है। अपने कर्मों के बल पर ही सतयुग में अब तुम्हें आना है। सतयुग में अब तुम्हें आना है।
So when you were applying the formula SOS, you were using this aspect of the intellect to discern, to stop your mind from thinking anymore and observe. That's all the intellect looking at what's going on. And then steering, you're using the intellect to change the direction of your thoughts. So the whole process of meditation and spiritual awareness is becoming more aware of these very subtle machineries of consciousness, right? what the mind is doing, how it works, and how the intellect works. And the thing is, when you're thinking something and you say, I am just not going to think about that anymore. I've thought about that so many times. I'm just not going to think about it anymore. Anybody done that? Okay. And what happens 2 minutes later? So that means your intellect discerned that it wanted to change its mind. It made an effort to change its mind, but it was not very successful for very long. Why? Because the intellect is like a muscle. The willpower that we have is in the intellect. And we say to people, exercise your willpower, because the willpower is like a muscle. And our whole culture and our educational system and so many, all the instant gratification we get, just Google it for an answer. We don't have to use our intellects anymore. We don't have to figure things out. So our intellects have gotten completely flabby from lack of use. It's an instant gratification society. You don't have to work hard. You don't have to struggle to get things, right? So our poor intellects are so weak, we can't even stop our thoughts for very long. So the good news is that every time you decide to meditate, and you sit down and you try to focus your mind and you go inside, every time you do that, you are strengthening the intellect. You're exercising it, okay? And if you do this consistently over time, your intellect is going to get much more stronger and much more powerful. And the problem with the intellect being so weak is that that's why we have so much problem with addiction in today's world. And 12-step programs for everything under the sun, because human people, and they go to each other for support in these programs, but they're not strengthening their own intellect. So when you come then to explaining the anatomy of consciousness, you can explain how the intellect is the key to break out of the vicious cycle of consciousness. So you can also say that the intellect has all the other important powers within consciousness within it. Not only the power to discern, not only the power to decide and change your mind, but so many others, the power to withstand things, to be strong, to stand up for yourself, to draw the line when you need to. Those kinds of powers, which you'll hear about later in the course, are all within this very precious part of our consciousness known as the intellect. Now, the Hindi word for intellect is buddhi. What does that remind you of? Buddha, right? Everybody passes that question. So, does anybody know the meaning of Buddha? Enlightened one. Pretty much everybody in your class is going to know that. So, buddhi means the intellect. Buddha means the enlightened one. And there's another Hindi word that's kind of interesting to know, and that is buddhu. And that means not stupid person or foolish person, right? So all of these three, the root is the same. So the intellect is that part of the consciousness where you get it, where you understand, where you get the aha moment, okay? Where the penny drops or the light bulb lights, whichever analogy you want to use, that's all the intellect, okay? And so it's a very important part of meditation, and sometimes Raj Yoga is called Buddhi Yoga, the yoga of the intellect. So that's... Yeah, where you don't have the strength to cope anymore. Yeah. And Baba talks about this all the time, you're going into waste and all of this because you're not using your intellect, right? And so then you don't have any power. You're not accumulating anything. And so when the big crisis comes, you don't have any money in the bank to pay the bill, then you don't have the power to cope. It's like that. In Baba's language, that's how he puts it.
Thank you, Kieran Ben. She's just so wise, isn't she? Embodiment of wisdom. Yeah, I know. Go ahead. Yes, I think we should all sign up next time Kieran Ben teaches the course. Yes, we can do that. If I manage the Zoom room, I will manage the Zoom room. That's great. Yeah, it'd be nice to see Kieran Ben do it, wouldn't it? Yeah. So you might have to let us know how we can do that. Okay, very good. Wonderful.
But you haven't done that yet, right? Oh. Okay. Well, the way I think of sand scars and the way I describe it is that, and how I usually present it, is that everything that ever happened to you or everything that you've ever done has left some kind of impression or imprint or image or something, in a recording in your consciousness. And so the example I use is, for example, you saw the flyer to come here and take this course. So you thought you needed meditation, you came here, and by this time they've been there a couple of times, right? It's not their first time because we're into mind, intellect, sand scars. And you got a favorable impression that, oh, there's something I could learn here. So based on that favorable impression, you came back for more. And supposing you keep on coming back, and it sort of, becomes a practice, or you go to the Brahma Kumari Center and you do meditation, and eventually you start telling people, well, I'm a meditator. Now it's becoming part of your personality, right? It's becoming a behavior pattern. So all of these things, impressions, habits, behavior patterns, preferences, likes and dislikes, all of these things come under this label of sand scars. And we all have this huge, vast warehouse of sand scars. And they're collections of impressions in the form of trains of thought, images, sounds, etc. And they just reside within our consciousness. And so you're walking down the street and you hear this music playing and you go, oh, that reminds me of when, and da-da-da, this whole image comes in front of you and you start reminiscing. Where did that come from? It came from your sand scars, your bank, your warehouse of recorded memories, okay? So and the vast majority of our warehouse is full of good stuff. We have a lot of very good and positive memories. But we also have some not so good ones. And every once in a while, those come up, and they get triggered, too. When we say, that person really pushes my buttons, those buttons are your sand scars, right? And so these things have just been formed automatically, and they seem to just come out of nowhere automatically. But in the process of Raj Yoga meditation, what we're trying to do is affirm the positive ones and give them more credence in our personality as part of our identity, and transform the negative ones. And for that, we need to use the intellect. Is that okay? Intuition? Is it part of the sand scars? I don't really know the answer to that. I'm going to turn it over to Margaret.
Oh. Well, I think for your intuition to really work, you have to be in the moment. And so I would say it is in the intellect. But it's a big debate, because if you go and watch, it's a big debate because some people would say you, as you've gone through life, you've gained experience. So say, for example, a doctor would have gained experience through his practice, so that when that patient comes in, it's almost like he intuitively knows what to do, but it is based on experience. But there are other times when, and I'm sure we've all had it with Baba, because we're very present, and when we remember Baba, somehow we know what to do, but we haven't in this birth had that experience, but somehow we know, and that would be kind of intuition. And I would say that's when the intellect is connected with Baba. You somehow know. It's like a knowing, but it's not based on a life experience. But it's a big debate, and I think in the Brahman family we don't use the word because of that debate. That's my thoughts.
I think it points out this aspect that, we've conveniently segmented consciousness into mind, intellect, and sanskars. But it's like, Daddy Junkie would say of your hand, what part is not part of your hand? They all function together. They all work together. And so your past experience colors your perceptions all the time. So how can you really draw the line and say, is it just your intellect, or is it partly your sanskars influencing your intellect, or maybe your purest sanskars, or your most ancient, most wise ones? Who knows?
I just, I know you were saying about Sister Kieran talking and asking about that. There was a soul over here. And just a little plug for that flash drive and the resource binder that exists on there is when Kieran Ben will say it's Baba, she downloaded from Baba and she created, that binder is in essence her 40 years of Gyan that she's compiled every lesson from start to the advanced. So it's a very valuable tool, and it gives you access to Sister Kieran's churnings and the way she presents the class. It's very detailed. So you're getting a drop of her here, but that resource is available to you.
And it's not just Sister Kieran. There's a lot of Denise and Becky and Ken and lots of other Anthony Strano and everybody else in there. And I didn't always cite the references either. So I'm always asking their forgiveness.
That's very nice. Thank you for that. Very nice. I think having faith in our intellect, for me, the fact that we can discern all these things, it is that the sanskaras of purity, the original sanskaras of the soul, operate, they can influence the intellect. And then we can pick up purity, we can pick up power, we can see what is the right thing to do in every situation. So, very nice. Read the input that you're going to get. It's an ongoing journey for us as Brahmins to be refining our understanding of these things so that we can explain to others. When we began the MIS session, though, I asked you a question which was, why does this matter? So why do these three matter to an intro student? Why does it matter to them to understand the difference between mind, intellect, sanskaras? Take a moment and see what comes to mind for you. Why is this important? Why does this matter? 2. Knowledge is power. So knowing the self and how the soul operates empowers. Right. It's no longer a black box inside of me. I can see the different operating mechanisms and I can know how to use them then. Right? Okay. Anyone else? Connecting all the dots inside oneself to solve problems. Help them do meditation. Yeah, especially with those 3 questions. What does it mean? What does it look like? When have I experienced awakening? Yeah. Yeah. Right. It's logical. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. It helps them in meditation. Okay. Irene? Nice. Yeah. Yeah. They have wisdom inside they can be using. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, Denise? Understanding and experiment with using these faculties, yeah. And it certainly positions the intellect as the king, right? As the one we're going to use here to manage the others, yeah. Perla? Lovely. That's nice. There you go. Okay. So a question worth asking to them afterwards. Otherwise, it's a bunch of like professional knowledge, like a bunch of jargon. But why is it important? They need to know. And you need to know in order to teach. Okay. So thank you to everyone for just playing with that. Was that useful? Mind, intellect, sanskaras? Yeah. So today we've done qualities of soul, mind, intellect, sanskaras, and we had one other thing on offer before lunch. Do you remember? How much fun does that sound like? Yep, for some vices? We want to conquer the vices, but anyways. Really though, are you okay for another half-hour exercise, like experience? Okay. Should we stand up and just wiggle a little bit first? Because we've been sitting a bit. Just stand up and wiggle, turn around, stretch, touch your toes, do whatever you need to do to get, energized physically. Because you're going to sit again and you're going to use the intellect for this next exercise. Are you tired of using your intellect? Okay. All right. All right, let's sit down, and our next break will be a good long one for lunch. Okay, you're going to need a piece of paper, a clean piece of paper, and you're going to write. Now remember, we're not doing this in a row. You're getting it in a row, but the students have had a break, right? They've had a whole week to experiment with mind, intellect, sanskars, and they're coming back. Now, I think if you recall, in the intro course in Halifax, we don't do vices here. Right? We don't do vices. We do anatomy of consciousness, and then we go to God. And Sister Margaret's going to take us into God in 3 worlds at 4:30. So we kind of ended the intro course from the experiential way that we do it. And again, it's just one way of doing it. But I'm just sharing the way we do it, okay? So we've reached the end of that now. So why am I giving you vices now? Doesn't really fit in this order, but some people talk about that in the sanskaras section. I don't, but some do. And it's just kind of a fun exercise that I'd love to do with you, so we put it on the list. And also because we want to make a case for the particular languaging of this session. So we would do this in Halifax, we would do this more in the intermediate level. We would start with the Maya, vices, karma, and then tree and cycle. But I think it's just to demonstrate one way of speaking about the vices. Okay, and the reason we invented this little activity is because where I live in Halifax, it's very, very Catholic. In fact, it's known as a little Vatican. So the minute we say the word vice, instantly people feel guilty, they feel bad, they feel ashamed, they feel blamed, they feel that God's going to punish them, he's not a very good guy, and so we just don't use the word vice. We have eliminated that word from our teaching vocabulary. So that might be different here, but where we live, it's not a happy word. And the sanskars that it pokes and provokes, then we have to deal with all that. It's like sin, you know, pretty much a lot of Christian places, they have that experience, but especially the Catholics somehow. They really got burned by this. They're pretty pucka on this, yeah. So we invented this as a way to introduce that idea without ever using the word vice. Okay, so that's why I'm going to demonstrate this. And how we do it is we start, again, you're going to need a fresh page with a little star. I usually give them a star, but that'll take us too long. And put your 5 rays out. And you can label each of these with blip, the bliss, the 5 core qualities of the soul, bliss, love, peace. I always ask them, so what are the core qualities of the soul again? And they remember the same 3. They forget the same 2. Purity. Okay. So you should have this in your notebook. And what I'm going to ask you to do is to assess yourself right now in your life. How much of each of these qualities are you experiencing in yourself? In your dharana, in your behavior, in your experience of living. And imagine that, let's say this is a scale of 1 to 10. 10 would be up here. I'm experiencing purity to a 100% degree. Or I'm like, let's say I'm on a 7 or 6 or something like that. So I'd just like you to put a little mark on the line. This is a star chart. Okay? And just assess yourself, and this is private, this is just for you, how much you have of each of these, how much you feel you're experiencing these qualities now in your life. I'm just going to do some random things here, and so that you can see, okay? So do that for yourself. How much are you experiencing your own quality of the soul of love? So that would be all those words we heard earlier, you know, generosity and yeah, it would be a feeling. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 is low, 10 is high. Where are you now? How much of your qualities are you experiencing now? Okay? Everyone got? This takes students a little bit longer sometimes because they're not used to assessing themselves internally the way we are with charts and, you know. So take another minute if you need to do a good assessment of yourself, as honest as you can. And then I would like you to circle the one that you have the most. And if there's a tie, that's okay. And then underline the one you have least. So circle most, underline least. So the lowest number, underline, and the highest number, circle. Okay, so we're going to come back to this in a minute. And if you can, just do a little bit of a, connect all the little tabs that you've put there so that you create like a kite. This is actually known as a spider chart. As you create like a spider web, but I call it a star chart. It's nicer. Yeah. Okay. So you all have a little kite. You got a sense of where you're at now? Anyone got 10, 10, 10, 10, 10? No, you wouldn't be here, right? It would be Karmatit. Okay. So, the Baba said this morning, 16 celestial degrees. We understand that to be the full moon, where every aspect of the moon's surface is the light shines from the sun on every aspect. So if you could just draw a circle connecting 10, if you were 16 celestial degrees, you would be 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, right? So just make that full moon kind of circle. There you go. If the soul was complete, it would be the full circle. Right? 10, 10, 10. 16 celestial degrees full. And so that's our aim in Raj Yoga, is for these inner qualities to shine to their fullest, so that I feel complete and full. There's no gap or crack. So the question is, you notice there's a gap between here and there. What's filling this space? Huh? You notice there's a gap. Yeah? What's filling this space? Yeah. We like these kinds of questions. We like these kinds of make you stop and think questions. What's filling that space? So here in Raj Yoga, we have this understanding that one of the things that is the most uncomfortable thing in the whole world for a soul is to feel empty. We just can't tolerate feeling empty. And when we begin to feel a little bit empty, when we are not experiencing the fullness of our own qualities internally, we begin to reach out and use substitute energy to fill the space, to fill the gap, so that we don't feel empty. Because we actually really hate feeling empty. We can't stand it. So we will do whatever we need to fill that gap so that we feel full, even if it's temporarily full. You know, you have a great little sugar rush and the next day crash. You know, but temporarily full, we'll do it because we hate to feel empty. With me? So we have been filling this space for some time, and it's become a bit of a habit. So we can talk about sanskars here. This is definitely where addictions fit. We're using a substitute to experience these things. I did a session with drug addicts in Thailand, and it was so interesting. We looked at the drug of choice fit the quality of the soul they most wanted. So marijuana, happy little peace feeling, right? Cocaine, power, right? The hallucinogenics, you get a bunch of this. Sometimes you get this. It's very interesting to look at the drug of choice and what is it that the soul is longing to experience. Sugar is love, yeah. Heroin, well, sometimes heroin feels like you're getting a hug. So it's a combination of love and bliss, yeah. Anyways, we're not going there. But the point is, we're not going there. But it definitely interests me. I find that fascinating that the soul is longing for that feeling. Is there a drug for purity? Could we just take that drug and then, it'd all be much easier? Yeah, sign me up. Yes, the drug is called Baba. Okay. I actually don't remember that one. Sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't want to take us off track there, but it's interesting. Okay. Sex is a drug. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Sex, could be. Okay, back to the Murli. So, this, where were we going with that? So this is where we introduce the algae. So we have this idea that the soul has used substitute energies to fill the gap, fill this space, so as not to feel so empty. And then we name them. We name those. Here's some of the energies that the soul has been using to fill the gap, so it doesn't feel so empty. And we name them. And then in the Raj Yoga course, we have to define these because they don't actually know, intro students, right? So anger, and we do a continuum. Anger could be things like, rage, but irritation, impatience, blah, 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 right? We do all that. Lust, well, yes, sex, lust, but desire, wanting something, wanting to take something, right? So we do all that, and greed. And so we explain that. I don't need to do that here. Correct? But then we do the game of we say, okay, well, which one of these is a substitute for which one of those? So I'm going to make the list here of bliss, peace, love, peace, power, purity, whatever, power and purity. I'm just going to put them here as a separate column because I've used too much of the whiteboard. And I'm going to ask you to make 2 columns in your notebook. I'm going to ask you to draw a line between which one is a substitute for which. Which drug are we using? Which of these substitute energies are we using? So which energy am I, when my sense of happiness or bliss or contentment, I'm not experiencing that in myself. What is the algae? What's the substitute energy I'm using? Spend a couple minutes on your own doing that. See if you can figure out which is a substitute for which and draw the lines. Okay, so this might be, who knows which, I'm not going to tell you, but just spend a couple minutes seeing if you can connect which of these substitute energies here is substituting for which of the original qualities that is actually draining a bit. I'm not using it, experiencing it, okay? See what you come up with? You feel the intellect's working, discerning? Good. Okay, and talk to the person next to you if you'd like. Compare notes, see what you came up with. Did you get the same thing? Did you get something different? Okay, Om Shanti. So, did you all have the same thinking? No, some big differences, hey? Yeah, it's not so easy to discern this one, I find. Okay, so let's look at it together and see what you came up with. And I'm only going to make a suggestion. You could probably do them any way you want, because we know, like the virtues, these substitute energies open one door, all the others are there, right? So they're all going to overlap and they're all going to be connected, okay? But the soul tends to use one as a substitute for the other. So let's look at the first one. Anger is a substitute energy when I am not feeling enough of my own power, peace. Okay, which one is it? Power or peace? Peace. Peace. Okay. So how is anger a substitute energy for peace? It makes no sense, right? They're the opposite. So how can the soul be using anger when it's not experiencing enough of its own peace? It's yearning for peace, and the way to get it is to yell at everyone to be quiet so I can be peaceful. Right? Isn't it? Well, it doesn't work in the long run. I'm not saying it works. These are coping mechanisms, right? So the soul is using anger to get peace. Another way a soul uses anger to get peace is little by little the frustration or the irritation builds up, and it's like the boiler, right? And then all of a sudden it blows, and for 2 minutes after the boiler has blown, how do you feel? Peaceful. Isn't it? And then you have a huge karmic devastation you have to deal with. So it only lasts for 2 minutes. But that was a good 2 minutes, wasn't it? Of peace. Okay. Margaret.
When people complain about a situation or person, they're saying, this person or this thing is taking away my peace.
True. Right, so the anger vented towards someone else is usually because they're taking my peace. Okay, so anger is a substitute energy for peace. As Baba tells us, it doesn't work. It's temporary. But we have been using it. Okay, let's skip over this, a tricky one. Let's go to attachment. That's pretty easy, right? How is attachment a substitute for love, though? Because it's a pretty rotten substitute. So how is the soul using attachment as a substitute energy to fill this gap here where I'm not experiencing enough of my own love? So I lack it and I hold on to someone who loves me or to someone I love. Right? So we're using attachment instead of love. But we're doing it for a reason. We're doing it because we haven't got enough of our own quality. We're not experiencing enough of our own quality of love. If we had enough love, what would happen? We'd set them free. As we used to say. Okay, so that's easy. Now we get to some trickier ones. Greed. Substitute for what? Bliss. And how is greed a substitute for bliss? Right. So if you're not happy, you're trying to buy more, eat more, watch more on TV, you're more. It's consumption because you are discontent. So at the first sign of restlessness, what happens? Up you go to the fridge to get more something. First sign of, you're Gujarati, did you say? Go shopping. When you mention food, Gujarati, you go shopping, of course, because you feel happy with that new outfit. So more. Discontent makes you want more. So we're using the greed to try and fill the discontent, but it doesn't, we know, right? Okay, so we're left with two. Ego is power. How does that work? Why would I use ego as a substitute for power? Yep. Insecurity. When I don't have power, I latch onto a false identity. So if I feel powerless inside, I will prop myself up with ego and say, but I'm... Right? And we know ego has the two faces, if I feel less than or if I feel more than. Right? Two faces of ego. So this creates a great deal of compassion when I understand that people, when they're using ego, when I see them using ego, even when I find myself using ego, it's because I feel powerless. It creates a great deal of compassion in the face of ego, rather than anger response. You can understand the soul is not feeling powerful. So they're using this crutch, this prop of ego, to present a more powerful image. So that leaves us with lust and purity. Okay. Again, opposites. So how is lust a substitute for purity? Substitute energy. I'm using lust to fill the space where I don't have enough of my own purity. How does that work? You don't desire anything outside. You know when you buy that new outfit and you put it on, you feel pretty darn good. You know, like you feel really fresh. Let's use fresh as another word for purity. Right? So that's not, maybe not greed, but the desire for something that will make me feel better. You know, in the sex lust, I mean, when we look at the Big Bang experience of the physical sex experience, and then you look at how we feel when we go to Madhuban, the kind of awe that we feel in the pure environment, it's like we're trying to recreate that experience of something so beautiful, so big, so impactful on the soul, but doing it through the physical. Right? A substitute energy. Well, wasn't that okay, what I just said? It's the best I got. Shall I rewind and do that again? Yeah. I don't always do the sex one. I'm only doing that here with you guys. I don't do this. Usually I would just do desire, but I would use lust. And I would say, sexual lust or just desire. And then desiring someone else's form or image, you know, as a way to make me feel somehow complete. Feeling complete is a good word. That's a good way. Yeah. So the freshness aspect and the complete. Okay. Interesting, hey? So we are using these energies as a substitute for our own fullness. Gives you a lot more compassion for the soul. Takes you out of the bhakti religious mindset of good and bad person, which vice makes you feel. So we never use the word vice. We always do this. Now, punchline. Let's look back at the one you have the most. Look at the one you circled on your little star chart. I am going to suggest whatever you circled. So how many circled love? Had the highest of love? Lots and lots. How many had the highest on peace? Lovely. How many had highest on power? Who had highest on purity? And on bliss? Ooh, very few in this group. Okay, very interesting. I'm going to suggest that you are a master of the opposite. A master of the substitute energy. So, if love is your highest, you have mastered attachment. That means you have enough love in you to see attachment coming, to see how it operates. It doesn't mean you're not affected by it sometimes, but you've got enough love in you to conquer attachment. Would you say that's true, those of you who put love as your highest? Yeah, okay. Those of you who put bliss as your highest, it means you're masters of greed. You see how greed operates? Doesn't get you. Maybe sometimes, but you have enough contentment inside, bliss, that it doesn't. Purity, you've conquered, or you're masters of lust. It doesn't get you. Power, same thing. Ego, you might see how it operates, but you've got enough power that it doesn't affect you. Right? You can conquer it. And peace that you've conquered, you're a master of anger. Okay, now here's the good news, bad news. Look at the underline one, the one you have least. In other words, the biggest gap that you are probably still filling with, Baba calls it Maya. Maya's just the marketing campaign for Ravan, right? So Maya's just okay. So I'm going to suggest that the one you have lowest, the opposite, the substitute energy, is operating inside of you as a blind spot. Got it? Just take, yeah, say it again. So whichever one you have least, whichever of your own qualities you're experiencing the least right now, that the opposite, the substitute energy, is operating inside of you as a blind spot. You don't see the ways in which it's operating. Does that make sense? So that's the homework assignment, is to discern where that where you're using the substitute energy, or it's using you in an attempt to experience the original, to fill that emptiness. So just make sure it's clear first before we go in. So, did you get the idea? Do you think this could be true? That the one you have least, that the substitute is working in you as a blind spot? Could be. Okay. So, in the course itself, this is our first night in the intermediate course. We do this session, and we take them back to SOS, and we take them back to intellect. And we say, you were asked to do SOS with thoughts. This week, do SOS with energy. Which energy is operating in you? Discern it and choose your original quality. Because if you feed this one, then you are starving this one. And if you feed this, so back to our which quality do you want more of? 3 questions in your meditation. I want more bliss. What does bliss mean to me? What does it look like? What does it feel like, right? If you feed this, then you will starve this. It's a binary system inside the soul. There is no gray here, right? We are a closed system, the soul. I have within me the potential that I have. It will either be filled with my own original qualities or the substitute. If you lay this particular picture down flat, like you have in your books right now, you could say, it's when Baba says you're the army. You know how an army takes back territory? This is the frontier. This is where you're at right now in the battle with Maya. Least was bliss, which means greed is operating in an incognito way, an invisible way, blind spot. Yeah. So you might want more experiences. You might want more of incognito, spiritual things. Right? It's not things. Well, what's the difference between greedy for more spiritual experiences and bliss? With bliss, you have full faith you're going to get whatever you get, so you're not craving something. Yeah, go ahead. Wow.
And now you tell me change it to bliss. So now I got it. I don't have to worry. I don't have to greed about that insurance thing. I don't have to worry about those things. I have to replace it with the bliss.
So that's beautiful. So in that moment, practice experiencing your own quality of bliss and contentment. That's brilliant. Wonderful. So these are subtle matters. It's maybe not for things, but it could be for other. Okay? Yeah, of course.
So there was a class in Hindi by one of the brothers, and he said that assess all the vices and find out which vice is in maximum within you. And so then, okay, we picked all the numbers, and then he said if one vice is 9, then all the other vices are also 9. It's not possible that one is 9 and the other is like at 2. It's
It's another class. Very good. Anything else? Right. And you can do that if you like. You can, because they're all so connected. Right, really. I mean, I'm doing this as a visual, so you can see, you can empower, you can be a little bit more empowered about the choices you make. Which energy am I feeding? And discern which energy am I feeding. If you just say, I'm 7 in all of them, okay, so then I have to stop feeding all of them. Of course. Of course we have to stop feeding all of them. But let's use our strengths, right, and at least have a little bit of success in there. If I'm feeling love more, then I'm conquered some of that attachment stuff. Congratulations. It's a way to keep ourselves going, right? I mean, for me. And it's more just a visual to see the substitute nature of the energy we use when we feel low on something else. Yeah. Anyone else? Any other thoughts or comments? The root for all the algae is body consciousness. That's why algae is such a great metaphor. It grows over the rock. It covers the soul, right? But it's made up, with body consciousness, we start using all these energies, right? Okay, I feel like that might be enough for today. What do you think? Are you good and full? Useful? Useful? Yeah, all right. Very nice. So we've got like 20 seconds left, and we're ending right on the dot at 1 o'clock as planned. Could we just have 20 seconds of silence and step away from all the thinking and discerning? Intellect's been very active, which is great. We're students in this University of Bubba's, but also we can just stop everything and remember Baba.
About your flash drives, those of you who want them, if you put your name on this list, they're only $5, not $8. And I don't know that I have enough one for everyone. So if you have your own flash drive, I can put the stuff on it. Or you can buddy up with someone, get one, and then share the contents with that other person. We do ask that you do not share these flash drives with anyone who has not taken the course, including the training, including your CC. The CC will have most of these materials available to them online, especially when the new website gets up, but they're on OneLink. Do you all know about OneLink? It's a website for the BK family. It's called onelink.brahmakumaris.org, and it's old and clunky, and it's being replaced by another one very soon called Our Yagya. But anyway, all of this material will be there for your CCs as well. So put your name on this piece of paper. I'll give it to Sureksha Ben to collect your signatures, not the pen, please.
Just a couple of announcements or reminders. Just a reminder we have, you guys are, like, this has been pretty full up till now, hey? Are you guys feeling full? And what I'm also seeing is there's a great sense of connection here. There's more and more like connecting, talking about what you're learning, that kind of thing. But then what happens is we lose track of time. So if we could be on time for the next session, which is at 4:30, yeah. Tea's at 4, session starts at 4:30. So if you're, you could be done your tea by like 4:28, like your mugs or your cups put away and in your chair by 4:30. We would greatly appreciate it. There's a lot of material for Margaret to cover in the next session. And that way we're on time for the kitchen, and then we're on time for meditation at 7 and like that. So I'm just asking for your cooperation. Is that okay? And tonight you guys get to have fun, because you get to do your practicums after meditation. So you get to end the evening with that fun small group. Okay? Thank you.